De'Aaron Fox, seconds left in overtime, pulls up from midcourt.
No timeouts here for the Kings. Fox, 2.
And this is one of those times where you think to yourself, man, I've been preparing for this my whole career.
Fox from midcourt. Got it! De'Aaron Fox called game!
Hi, this is Kyle Draper, play-by-play announcer, Sacramento Kings. You're watching Voices.
Money for De'Aaron Fox. 37 for the game. 28 in the second half in overtime, but none bigger than that one.
The moment I realized I love sports, growing up in Philadelphia, I just remember every day bouncing a basketball, playing basketball. Now, mind you, this was the days when we didn't have hoops in our backyards. We had to put the crate up on the light post on the block, but we used to always play every single day. Come home from school, wake up on the weekend, whatever it was, we were outside playing basketball, football, you name it. Nothing better than street football, mind you. Let me say that. Nothing better than street football in Philly with the cars parked on the street and the cars not even being out of bounds. So if you get hit up on the car, you got to keep playing through it. That's when I fell in love with sports. That's when I knew, you know what? This is fun.
You are looking live at Ohio Stadium in Columbus, Ohio.
First voice that really drew me in, I would say Brent Musburger. Watching those Lakers-Celtics NBA Finals back in the 80s. Watching the Sixers beat the Lakers in 1983. I remember that like it was yesterday because as quiet as it's kept, I was a Lakers fan growing up. Magic Johnson was my guy. I was a Magic Johnson guy. But when the Sixers won in 83, the city of Philadelphia went crazy. And it was Brent Musburger on the call who described it all. It was so great. We hopped in my dad's car afterwards and drove around Philly honking our horns. That's what sports meant to me, my earliest sports memory. It's crazy. I never thought growing up being in the NBA was where I would wind up. I actually went to school for engineering. I wanted to be a civil engineer. A couple of math classes got in the way of that, so I found myself sitting there one day, and my roommate at the time, he was a sports broadcasting major, and a light went off in my head. I like sports. I like watching it on TV. Why don't I change my major? Why don't I do that? And ever since then, things have changed and have gone my way. And so it wasn't a lifelong dream or anything like that. But once I did make that change, I set a goal. I set a goal to be in an NBA market by the time I was 30. I set a goal to, be a part of the NBA. And especially when I went to Boston, it really became real, covering the Celtics. Think about it like this. I'm a kid from Philadelphia, born in 1975. Earliest memories are Sixers, Celtics, Sixers, Lakers. And my first year working in Boston was 2010, Lakers, Celtics, NBA Finals. For a kid of my era, it doesn't get any better than that. And so from that point on, I was all in, man. Let's go. Let's make it rock. Let's make it happen. Man, the path was long, arduous, days I wanted to give up. Went to a small school in Minnesota, Winona State University. First job was a news reporter in La Crosse, Wisconsin. Mind you, I'm a kid from Philly, and I'm here in La Crosse, Wisconsin, trying to hold it down. Then I went to Yakima, Washington, as a news reporter, mind you. Cut my teeth there. Then I went to Louisville, Kentucky, and I started to get a taste of bigger and bigger sports. And I remember, in the sports department at the time, and this was a period that really, I think, shaped who I am and showed that, you know what, Kyle, your dreams can be achieved. I was working in the sports department at WHAS-TV for 7 months by myself. The previous sports director that left, the weekend guy had left, it was just me. And I was going in there day in and day out. I look at that time as, if I could make it through that, I'm covering Kentucky, Louisville, Indiana, NASCAR, we're covering everything, horse racing, but yet I still showed up every day. The fact that, I can call NBA games now makes it all worth it, man. It was a tough road to hoe, but it makes it all worth it. My favorite call My gosh. I guess I would go back to 2022. The Kings are in Orlando, regular season game. And you know how it is. These games sometimes you just don't know what's going to happen. De'Aaron Fox is playing extremely well. Tough game, close game, hard-fought game. It goes to overtime. De'Aaron Fox gets the ball, seconds left in overtime, dribbles up, pulls up from midcourt. And this is one of those times where you think to yourself, man, I've been preparing for this my whole career. De'Aaron Fox, from the logo, called game and laid out, and the crowd was just stunned. This is on the road in Orlando. That's probably my favorite call because it was so poetic. It was like poetry in motion, watching him rise on the road and silence the crowd. It just sends chills up my arms because you remember, I'm a fan, man. I'm a fan of all these guys. And to be witness to that, it was tremendous. It was great. It means everything to me to be one of the few people of color in this role. Because here's why. I grew up in a tough neighborhood in Philly. I grew up with a brother and a sister who have since passed away because of drugs. And so I tell people all the time, I don't want my legacy to be as play-by-play announcer of the Sacramento Kings. I want my legacy to be inspiring all the young people of color in Philly, Sacramento, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Massachusetts, Kentucky, wherever. If Kyle can do it, they can do it as well. And so when you say, what does it feel like? I walk with a badge of honor. Like, you know what? I'm not just riding for me. I'm riding for all of us out here. So it means everything. People probably don't know the amount of prep work that goes into being great at this job. You can't just show up and call a game. From my first year in Sacramento in 2020, I'm still prepping from then and pulling notes from then. It's interesting. In this role, meaning play-by-play, you have to have confidence. And I think in this role, I've become even more confident. I remember when I was working in Louisville, Kentucky, shout out to WHAS and the bosses there at the time. They got me a voice coach. And, you know, I thought just talking was talking, you know? But really what it is crafting a picture, taking the viewer, the listener on a journey. And you can't just do that just by talking regularly. It's an art form to it. And so from that day on, I've sort of been, you know, it's an ever-evolving process too. You continue to work on your craft. And so it's almost like you're a thespian, if you will. You're on Broadway, you know, and you have to really engage the audience. And that's something I've tried to do with my voice.